Been major changes to how long you must declare a criminal conviction if you are applying for a job, following a change of the law which came into effect on Saturday the 28th of October 2023. Now this change potentially affects over 100,000 people convicted in 2022 alone, and if you've recently served a prison sentence or a suspended prison sentence in the last 2 or 3 years, then this change may affect you too. In this video I'm going to talk about what has changed and how this change in the law will affect you. To explain this change in really simple terms, when someone is convicted of a criminal offence and given a criminal sentence, that sentence has a period attached to it known as the rehabilitation period. Now during that time, the criminal conviction for which the criminal sentence was awarded must be disclosed to a future employer. Now what this change in the law has done is to reduce the rehabilitation period for all sentences except sentences related to offences of serious sexual, violent or terrorist offences. And the aim of the legislation is to prevent previous convictions, preventing individuals, particularly individuals who have been released from prison, from gaining employment, with the ultimate aim to cut reoffending. Now if we look at the table on screen, we can see what the old and new rehabilitation periods were. And you can see perhaps the most significant change is that where an individual was sentenced to custody of 4 or more years, under the old rehabilitation period that conviction was never spent. And you can see now that that has changed to 7 years for adults and 3.5 years for under 18s. And then you can also see that when an individual is given custody of 1 year or less, then the rehabilitation period there is 1 year or 6 months for under 18s, whereas previously if you were given custody of 6 months or less, then the rehabilitation period was 2 years or 18 months if you were an under 18. The government, in explaining this change to the law, has stated that the law change will help ex-offenders turn their back on crime and reduce reoffending, and that certain custodial sentences will no longer need to be declared, which removes a significant barrier to reoffenders rebuilding their lives, whilst emphasising that the most serious offenders will be exempt from the changes in order to keep the public safe. Now there are exceptions where you will be required to disclose a criminal conviction even if it falls outside of the rehabilitation period, and this is for organisations which require a disclosure and barring service check. Now these are for organisations such as those working with children or vulnerable adults, the legal profession, healthcare or other organisations involved in matters of national security. Now you must disclose your criminal convictions if you are asked, and if you're unsure as to whether the organisation that you're applying for is one of those organisations that you need to disclose your criminal convictions, you should seek advice. So to summarise, the rehabilitation period, the period by which you must declare to an employer that you have a criminal conviction, has been significantly reduced by the government. So if you've been released from prison in the last 2 or 3 years, the period that you must serve and declare a criminal conviction has reduced. So you should check when that period expires and when you no longer need to declare that conviction to a future employer. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video useful. If you did enjoy it, please do consider giving it a like. And if you'd like to see more from me, then please do subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Take care.